The events leading up to April 25th, 2014 have nothing to do with this case. All we got out of that is that Armando Baptista can break a jaw with one punch. Muhammad was not there. We don't even know when that fight happened. It had nothing to do with the defendant. And it had nothing to do with what happened on April 25th, 2014. Again, it only shows us that Baptista can break a jaw with one punch. This was not a setup. Corey McMath took the stand and told you he had nothing to do with this. He didn't want this to happen. He didn't orchestrate it. He was having people over at his house like he always has. He told us, people come through. Sometimes they don't even call, and I don't allow anything like that to happen at my house because I live at my house with my parents and my child. He did not set this up. That is a made-up story. Everyone in this case does not know each other. Muhammad didn't know Demetrius Elder. Muhammad didn't know Armando Baptista. Demetrius Elder didn't know Muhammad. Armando Baptista didn't know Muhammad. Muhammad wasn't friends with these guys. Muhammad was friends with Corey. Muhammad knew Saeed Ali. These were not all friends, and these were not all grown men, months or a year later, out to get revenge on Armando Baptista for something that may or may not have happened to Walter Stanley when we don't know. By the way, I don't care who called who. I don't care if Corey called, Muhammad called, if Elder called, if Marlon called. Baptista and this defendant went to Corey McMath's house because Baptista wanted to see Marlon. When they got there, Muhammad wasn't there. When Muhammad gets there, Marlon isn't there. So if you want to be an eyewitness to a manslaughter, you better be at the manslaughter. If you want to tell us what happened where a person was killed, you better be able to say you witnessed it. And there is only one eyewitness in this case, and that's Wendy. And what Wendy saw is what happened.
Objection to the last comment. Improper argument.
Overruled.
What Wendy saw is what happened. And Muhammad did not deserve to die. He didn't deserve to get stabbed, beaten, or killed. He didn't deserve to be stabbed repeatedly and then beaten afterwards. Remember what Wendy told us. Muhammad got out of the car with the soap, with the red plastic cup, and he walked over and they were talking. It was cordial. A few minutes passed before Muhammad extended his hand to shake. A gesture of peace that was returned with an attack by Armando Baptista, which the defendant then joined in. Self-defense. All these stab wounds, chest, back, arms, fingers. Multiple blunt force injuries to the victim's face. Not one mark on Armando Baptista, not one mark on this defendant. This is not a case of self-defense. Justifiable use of deadly force for someone approaching another person with a plastic cup? No way. There is no way you can find that this killing was justified or excusable, because you have to follow the law, and the law doesn't let you. The defendant's statement to the detectives is inconsistent. It's inconsistent in and of itself, it's inconsistent with the other testimony that's in evidence, and it is not corroborated by any evidence in this case whatsoever. Not to mention, his story doesn't make any sense. He was sitting in his car, stopped at the stop sign, opened the door to cough, didn't see anything, didn't notice anything, didn't hear anything, and all of a sudden there's a full-blown brawl in his car. Full-blown. But he didn't notice, see, or hear anything before it. Doesn't see the stab wounds to Muhammad, doesn't see the blood. Picks up a knife from the floorboard and stabs him in the back. Doesn't make any sense. Muhammad is unarmed. He is not greeting Armando Baptista or the defendant with deadly force, and therefore no one was justified in using deadly force. Muhammad was attacked. Look at the photographs. Listen to the statements. What Wendy told us makes sense. This is not about revenge. This was a gesture of peace, and he died for it. The fingerprints, the swabs, all this stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was not a case where we didn't know who did it. It's not like the detectives were out there for months trying to figure out who did it. The crime scene evidence is all here. It was all collected. The photographs, so you could see. This wasn't a crime scene with 10 different beer bottles or 15 different red plastic cups. This wasn't a littered crime scene. Everything's there for you. Dr. Koonsman. Okay, Dr. Koonsman testified about the drugs in Muhammad's system, but remember what he told us? I can't tell you when he took them. I can't tell you how it affected him. I can't tell you how he reacted to it. I can't tell you the date and time or how much. And let's go back to our jury instructions. Not one word in the jury instructions say, if a victim of a killing has drugs in his system, it's justified or excusable. Muhammad was calm, friendly, happy. He wasn't a raging lunatic running after Armando Baptista with superhuman powers, seeking revenge. He died for no reason. He was killed for no reason. Again, something we don't have to prove to you. These are all distractions. Motive, intent, all distractions. 2 elements. That's it.
Objection. Impermissible.
I can't hear you.
Objection, impermissible arguments.
Overruled.
Muhammad was not violent. He was not aggressive. He didn't cause this. He was killed. It was not justified, and there is no excuse. This is not a case of self-defense. This is a case of a killing, the killing of Fakhreddin Muhammad Knight. And it is a case where the evidence proves the crime of manslaughter with a weapon was committed and that the defendant committed the crime. And for that, you must convict him and find him guilty as charged. Thank you.